Today is the 27th of June, 2017. We are at the New York State Military Museum in Saratoga Springs, New York. My name is Wayne Clarke. Sir, for the record, would you please state your full name and date and place of birth, please?
My name is Harris Gibault, and the place of birth was Winchester, Ontario, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
It was January 16th, 1918. Date of birth.
Okay. Now, did you go to school there?
In Canada, yes, I did.
Okay.
Until I was about, maybe third grade or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a regular English school, just like we have here. Yeah.
And then you moved to the States?
We moved to Vermont. Yeah.
Whereabouts in Vermont? Whereabouts in Vermont?
It was just outside of Middlebury. There's a college there, you know. It was in the town of Whiting, but it was in the town of Whiting, Vermont. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
there were all farmers in there.
all right. And you grew up on a farm.
Yeah, I did.
And when did you enter the service?
It was March 7th, 1941.
Now, did you enlist or were you drafted?
I couldn't be drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing, I wasn't a citizen.
You're a Canadian citizen.
The only way I could get in there was volunteer, and that's what I did. I volunteered my services.
Now, let me ask you this. Why did you pick the Air Corps?
It was just automatic. They put me in the Air Corps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was, we got to get it straight. It was the Army Air Corps. No, we still had planes and all that stuff.
Right,
yeah.
the Army Air Corps. They didn't become the Air Force till 1947, I believe.
I believe so, yeah, right, yeah.
All right. Now, where did you go for your training? Or let me go back a little bit. You mentioned earlier you left out of Saratoga?
Yep. Left Saratoga, and from Saratoga we all went to Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot the name of the place now, but it was
Was it Camp Upton?
that was it, Camp Upton, Long Island.
Okay.
And from there on, I think we were sent to different. We had a choice,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose. I wanted to get out as far as I could. I wanted to go to California, but I went as far as Maryland. But from there on in, don't ask me. I've been all over the world.
All right. Was that your first time away from home?
No. My folks lived in Vermont, and I was working down here and outside of Saratoga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, once you left Camp Upton, whereabouts did they send you for your basic training? Do you recall?
It was in Maryland, but my God, I can't remember
That's all right.
name.
And after your basic training, did they send you to some sort of schooling for aviation?
No, I really wasn't a flyer anyway. I was in the Air Corps, but never a flyer.
Okay.
But the main thing that we were trained for was for chemical warfare.
Oh, I see.
That's the main thing. And it wasn't long. I'll tell you what it was. I was an eager beaver myself.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still am. But it wasn't long before us guys that were willing to put our best foot forward, they started to promote us so that we could train other troops.
I see.
And for the longest time, that's what I did, and I became a staff sergeant in not too long a time, maybe a year and a half after I got in there. And training troops was the most, I couldn't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
But I stood it. Finally, I went to my commanding officer and I said, oh, my two brothers had been killed by that time. That's why I wanted to go overseas to retaliate.
Mm-hmm.
And he would hear nothing of it. He says, your mother knows you're going overseas and all that. But your chances are, I says, no, she doesn't know. He says, she went through enough as it is now. Why should you want to go out to a fighting outfit overseas?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hemmed and hawed and begged, and I finally did go overseas. I was with the Army Air Corps.
Now,
A mission over there.
well, let me just go back a bit. When did you end up going overseas? Do you recall?
I think it was 1943.
Now,
It had to be in the fall of the year.
Now, how did you go overseas? Did you go by ship?
By ship, yeah, yeah.
Do you recall the name of the ship?
Good God, you know, I did know it one time, but you know, that slipped my mind.
That's okay. Did you get seasick at all?
No, I never got seasick, but I'd like to tell you about that trip overseas.
Sure.
We were in the thick of battle with the Japs, and we left Los Angeles, and we was forever getting to where we were going. So the ship stayed way south of the Hawaiian Islands and away from the Japs. They were very active with their submarines. So we didn't end up there, but we stopped in Melbourne, Australia. That was for supplies and stuff and whatever. And we went around the Indian Ocean, and we ended up landing in Bombay, India. And from Bombay, we traveled by train across India to Calcutta. From there, up the Brahmaputra River, we ended up in Dhaka.
Okay. So what Air Force was that? Were you part of? Was that the 14th Air Force?
No, it wasn't a fighting outfit. It was supply.
Okay.
But we got to go some to that now. We were near the Himalayan mountains. We were supplying the Flying Tigers with their needs.
Okay.
And we had planes that could fly over the hump.
Okay.
They called it the hump because it was 10,000 feet high. It was the low spot of the Himalayas. And flying stuff to supply those, that's what we were doing there.
Okay, so you must have been attached to the 14th Air Force because the Flying Tigers were part of the 14th. In that theater, I believe it was called the CBI Theater, China, Burma,
CBI,
India.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that like over there? Were there a lot of mosquitoes and malaria and dengue fever and all of that?
I wouldn't want to live there if they gave me the whole city of Dhaka. It's the poorest city probably in the world. It still is. Yeah. We were only about 6 miles from Dhaka.
Okay.
And we had several hangars there. It was a big outfit. Yeah. But the main thing was to deliver fuel and supplies over the hump into China to the Flying Tigers. That was amazing. There must have been other places we supplied, but I know that was one place.
What was your actual job there? Were you still training people, or?
More or less. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. You want to know the truth? Hardly nothing to do. Yeah.
It must have been pretty hot, hot during the summer season and rainy during the monsoon season, right?
So I had a very good friend. He was with the ordnance, and actually he was like me. They had ordnance stuff piled up there and stashed away, and waiting to actually to be involved in an actual battle, which that never happened, you know. Yeah. So, yeah.
Now, were you ever bombed by the Japanese at all?
No.
Or attacked at all? No.
No, it was that was out of their range.
Okay.
The reason for the Flying Tigers, they were on the China coast, and the Japanese used to come in there and attack. But these guys were terrific. They were there to receive them and shoot them down, you know. And the Japanese kept coming, but these guys, the Flying Tigers, were right there to receive them and fight them. Yeah. So. That's what our mission was.
Okay.
Flying high-octane gasoline over there. See, the planes is altogether changed today, you know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, did you go up in any of the airplanes at all?
I did once.
Once?
Over the hump.
Okay.
One trip. As far as Kunming, China.
How was it?
Actually, I was I don't know if you call it a stowaway or what, but I had no business plan. But we did a lot of things that we had no business plan over there too, you know. We had to have a little fun once in a while.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, what was your living quarters like? Were you in tents or Quonset
Well,
huts?
we had what they called bashers. They were buildings built out of bamboo, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were not airtight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One thing, I guess they were snake-proof.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you ever encountered any snakes over there.
Well, there's a long story there, but
Yeah, go ahead.
well, we used to get quite a few vacations, I'll tell you. It wasn't 365 days a year. So we was on vacation, me and my buddy was in Calcutta. And they have these snake charmers there.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd come around with a basket and the damn cobras inside. And then we stood there and they let them loose, and they, snake charmers, though, they kind of steered them where they wanted to go. Well, one doggone snake's headed for where we were, and we climbed aboard. I said we wouldn't get back down there again. But somehow they captured them snakes, put them back in the basket, and on their way. Yeah, they were looking for a handout.
Sure. Yeah.
Beggars was the first name of everybody over there. Yeah.
Now, what was your food like over there?
The what?
Your food.
We only ate our own food. We would not touch anything Indian at all, period.
Now, did you have fresh food, or did you have C rations or K rations?
Well, it was a mixture, actually. I remember one time we had chickens, and they were freshly killed from over there. And but they were chickens, period. We were well fed. We had a mess hall. Sure we did. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did you get to see any USO shows like Bob Hope or anybody like that? Any
Well,
entertainers?
we had a movie. It was a big sheet that we had spread out among by poles or trees, I forget now. And that was the screen. And the projector was, well, it was better than nothing. Okay? So one night, this is what happened. The runway was not far from where we were. And we're watching this movie. It was just getting dark. And my God, the damnedest explosion you ever heard took place. We thought we were being bombed. All the lights went out and everybody ran for their quarters. And what happened, we had 4 motor jobs here, the C-54s they were. And loaded with high-octane gas. It never left the runway. You know, all of the pilots were kind of newcomers too. They were not experienced.
Sure.
The damn thing exploded with all the gas on board. And it was an explosion, believe me. We thought we were bombed, so everybody ran for their quarters anyway. And it turns out, we found out, all the 4 guys were all killed right then and there.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, yeah. So that was one episode, yeah. But flying that hump there was an awful lot of accidents.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the guys crashed, that's all.
Sure.
Yeah. So we called it the hump because that was the lowest spot in the Himalaya Mountains. Yeah. Yeah. So I got to tell you about Hiroshima now.
Oh, were you there?
No.
Okay.
I was still in India. We was in.
Okay.
As far as I went was India.
Okay.
So we was in our tent that night, and it was early in the evening, probably around 9 o'clock at dinner time. And the guys were playing cards and more or less just talking. And some guy come running in our quarters there, and he talks to us. He says, "They bombed." I couldn't pronounce it. Hiroshima. He says, "I don't know what it is, but." And he gave us the news. We looked at the guy and we said, "Jesus, he needs to be checked out because he's not right." It It wasn't one of our guys in our tent, it was from some other tent.
Uh-huh.
But we had homemade radios over there. And I forgot how that was done, but they were taken from the guys, pilots. They had them damn things, and we had one. So that was that anyway. That was the only damn bombing thing, but the other one was, that was August 6, 1941. And we figured we'd be there for
45. What, when they bombed Hiroshima?
Was it 44 or 45?
45.
45, okay. I get that mixed up too. So we figured the guy needed checks because he wasn't right. He gave us those news, but the next morning we found out he was right.
Hard to believe that one bomb could take out an entire city.
Oh boy, 8 million, wasn't it?
Gee, I don't recall.
Yeah. So the next morning, that's when we found out. But we were figured we'd be there for another 2 years anyway, before that Hiroshima. 2 more years we figured we'd be there.
Do you recall, this is going back a couple of months, do you recall hearing the news about President Roosevelt passing away?
Yes, I do remember. Yes, I do.
That must have been a shock to
was.
everybody.
Well, he done a lot of things, Roosevelt did, for this country. He pulled us out of the worst depression that we ever could have. Yeah. My folks were farmers, and they survived. But these people live in the cities and working for plants, and the Ford Motor Company just closed up at that time. All these men were out of work, they were committing suicide and everything else. Unbelievable, you know? There was a lot of starvation, yeah. Roosevelt pulled us, he was a good man, Roosevelt was, yeah. That's right.
So it was.
He done a hell of a lot for the country.
So it was Truman, though, that took over. What did you think of Truman?
Truman was all right, but I'm Republican, I voted Republican, and there's no gain there, right, in this day and age.
Of course, Truman made the decision to drop the bombs on Japan.
Truman, yeah, he's the one.
Yeah.
And they surrendered to Truman too, the Japs did. Yeah.
Now, once they bombed Japan and Japan surrendered, did you go home right away, or did you continue to stay over there for a while?
Oh, no, we didn't go home right away. No, no, we didn't. Was that in 1944, the Hiroshima?
45, August of 45.
It was 45.
Yes, and you got out in November, so...
You sure it wasn't 44?
Oh, I'm sure. That's when the war ended, was 45.
You're sure?
Yep.
All right. So that was in August the 6th, 1945, Hiroshima.
Yes.
And Nagasaki was shortly after that.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And once that happened, you stayed over there for a couple more months, it sounds like.
We had a barracks or a building. They were big buildings. And in case of chemical warfare, that place was loaded with shirts and pants and socks and hats, gas masks, in case of a chemical attack. Well, the war ended. And the commanding officer there, he had me, we started to crate all this stuff and make them boxes, waterproof. Crazy it was. So we was pretty well along when he come to me and he said, look, he says, you get one of these long trailers from the base there. And he says, you bring it over there and load all that stuff on there, and you come to my office with a load of stuff. So I did, and I had Indians doing the work. So we got to where his office was, and I said, sir, what do we do with it now? He says, go off the field and pile it up, have them pile it up as high as they can. And he said, we're going to burn it. Well, it was all right with me, because we couldn't wear them in impregnated clothes anywhere but in warfare anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, to get 5 gallons of gas, he said, when you get the gas, you spread it all around and set it on fire. So the Indians did all the bulwark there, you know. They couldn't believe to see that clothes going up in smoke. But you couldn't wear that, my God. It's like wearing rubberized clothes, you know. So that was that.
Wow.
And then after that, there was nothing to do but wait to go home, wait till you were so many points you had to have.
Yep.
Yeah. So I even ran a little store at the port there, you know, selling cigarettes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I was pretty damn poor, but anyway, I finally got out of that.
Well, you guys got free cigarettes and anyway, didn't you?
Oh, no, they were all American stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wasn't long. I went home shortly after. I was probably there too much and running that store.
Now, do you recall? Did they destroy any of the vehicles over there, like the Jeeps and trucks? Because I heard stories where they didn't want them on the black market or anything.
That took place mostly for the ground troops, like artillery. Well, we didn't have much of any stuff in India anyway. Mm-hmm. Actually, the English guarded our base.
Oh.
Yeah. They did. The English troops.
Mm-hmm.
They were guarding the base. Yeah.
Now, did you have much contact at all with the civilian population?
Oh yeah, but we were not allowed to. We were allowed to, but we just didn't want to because it was an unfit place to live anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, what about things like malaria? Did anybody come down with malaria or what they call dengue fever?
Not that I recall. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have to take those malaria pills?
Yep.
Did it turn your skin orange?
No, we would. Oh, we got back to. It was Campton, New Jersey. It was. That's where I left. That's where we ended up being discharged from.
Okay.
Guys were coming in from Europe, and we didn't look like brothers at all. They had this tan and everything. We looked sick. It was kind of funny when you think back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, coming back, you obviously you went back by ship again.
I went around the world as it was,
yeah.
and I enjoyed that.
Uh-huh.
I left Los Angeles and went around Australia and ended up in Bombay, India.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we traveled across India by Indian train,
mm-hmm.
and ended up at Dhaka, Pakistan. It was India then, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the base was. Yeah. And I was there until the war ended. Yeah.
Okay.
But,
each unit had a numerical designation. Do you recall what that was? Or did it just have like a title?
Oh no, there was there was it depends on how many points you had. I wasn't too long after the war. I came home anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right. Oh, coming back, did you run into any of the typhoons at all?
Yes, we did. We all thought the damn ship was going to break in half.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in the North Atlantic. I don't know why. They have sea lanes,
mm-hmm.
just like we have roads here. You know, just in case somebody gets in trouble, there's somebody not too far away mm-hmm. to help them.
Now, did you come back in like a convoy at all? Or just
no,
a single ship?
No, it wasn't a convoy. No,
okay.
no.
Did you get seasick at all?
Individual ship. So what we spent, Dhaka, Pakistan, Dhaka is probably 1,200 miles away from Pakistan. There's a seaport there. Geez, I can't speak now.
Okay, that's all right.
We flew there.
Uh-huh.
And the ship was there waiting for us, but the damn thing had broke down, and they had to send to the States to get certain parts so they could navigate.
Okay. Now, did you get seasick at all?
Never.
No? Okay. I'm going to have you hold this up, and I'll zoom in on it with the camera so we can get a shot of how you looked back then. But just hold it right up against your chest, and I'll zoom in with the camera. I'll try to zoom in there. Sometimes it. Now, you were already a staff sergeant, I see.
Yeah.
Do you recall when that photo was taken?
Do I recall when?
Yeah.
Well, let's see, it had to be about 1943.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taken in the States then.
Yes, it was taken, yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay. All right. As I mentioned earlier, I'll have a copy of that made, and we'll add that to your file.
Yeah,
Now, when you were discharged,
yeah.
let me just go back a second. How did you correspond with your family over there? Did you get mail regularly? Were you able to write letters regularly?
Oh, yes, sure, we got mail, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to write to them, they write to me, yeah.
Now, did
It was
you
all, what do they call it, email?
V-mail?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you receive any packages from home?
No.
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 Because I've heard that people that got food sent to them, a lot of times it was moldy by the time they got it.
Oh my God, I would never send anything like that home. No. Yeah.
All right. Now, when you got back to the States and you were discharged, how long had it been since you had seen your family?
It was about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once you were discharged, you said you were discharged from New Jersey, was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Fort Dix, New Jersey?
Fort Dix, right. Yeah.
All right. And I'm assuming you came home by train?
I did come home by train, that's right.
Okay. Were your...
As far as Albany,
Mm-hmm.
and then I called and somebody come and got me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were happy to see you.
Well, I guess so. I was happy to see them. And all that.
Now, once you got back home, did you take advantage of what they called, I think it
The
was
GI
called...
Bill?
Well, there was something called the 5220 Club. It was like an unemployment. You could sign up and get $20 a week for 52 weeks if you wanted
No,
to.
I never had that.
Okay.
No.
So you went to work right away?
Yeah, that's right.
And where did you go to work when you got back?
Well, I went to work, there was, in Greenwich, they had a little iron foundry there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all long gone now. But they were making supplies and stuff for the war in Europe.
Yeah.
And they were making not just, they were making plows too. You know, the plows of land?
Yep.
And it was the, what the hell was that plant? I forget the plant it was. Can't remember the name of that.
That's
plant.
all right.
But, and then when all things quiet down, then there was no more demand for that stuff overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And I left that plant about that time, yeah. And I went to, I wandered around, I was a wanderer. I ended up in Pueblo, Colorado. I was a mechanic school there for 1 year.
And you went under the GI Bill?
Yes, I did, yeah. And after 1 year, I thought I knew it all, but I knew it pretty good too, you know. And I went back to Greenwich, and I went to work in the garage. It was in Mechanicville, Ford Garage.
And you ended up buying it?
I was there for a long, long time, yeah.
But eventually it became yours?
I had my own business eventually. But while I was there, they kind of knew that, I don't mean to sound like I'm bragging, but I was like an eager beaver, right? I wanted to learn everything. So I went to school to learn about the automatic transmission. I became a specialist there. Later on, they came out with alternators on cars. I went to school for that. And then I was qualified to do anything that needs to be done on a car through school. So that was well worth my time. Yeah.
Okay.
And I worked as a mechanic for a long time, and then I ended up having my own place. Yeah.
Okay.
I retired from that.
And when did you end up getting married?
I got married in 1942.
Oh, I didn't realize you got married during the war.
Well, things shouldn't have happened that did happen, you know. I mean, I should never have got married at that time. I should have waited.
Okay.
But what's done is done, okay?
Okay.
So I eventually, long after I was home from the war, my oldest daughter was born, and this is my second daughter here.
Okay. Now, how many children do you have?
Two girls, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many grandchildren? A lot?
How many, Pat?
8.
My grandchildren, oh, this is 4, that's all, right?
No, you got, oh no, I was thinking of the great-grandkids, I'm sorry, there's just 4 grands.
Okay.
And there's 8 great.
I've got Danielle and Johnny and
Shelley and Johnny, you got
Shelley,
4.
four grandchildren,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me ask you, you were telling me before we had the camera rolling about becoming an American citizen.
Yeah.
Do you want to relay that story again?
Well, we got to start when I was 18. I got to start when my twin brother and I was 18 years old. It was even before that. When we were 16, they called in the CC camps.
Yes.
Civilian Conservation Corps.
Yep.
So we were not American citizens, but we didn't know for sure where we stood. But boys our age were getting in the CCs and making some money, and everybody was happy. So we went to see this Mr. Crosby. He was a hell of a nice man. And he says to us, he says, "I'm sorry, boys, but you can't get in there because you're not citizens." It was a slap in the face, not by him because he was a general. So we couldn't do that. But we couldn't go out. This was the death of the Depression.
Sure.
So it would have been so wonderful if we got in and be able to, like all the other boys at that time, to help support the family, because it was a Depression all the way. So let's see, you want to know now about when did I become an American citizen?
You were.
Well, at 18 now, my twin brother and I went to just see the Judge Russell. Wonderful man, him and his wife. They helped us with all the necessary papers to become to our first papers. The damn sad part of it is you have to wait 5 years before you can apply for the final papers. And you know, us young kids, we didn't know the difference. Him and I even talked about going back to Canada when I was only about 17 years old. Nothing here for us, we can't do nothing. But anyway, it was left there. I went into service, and he went into service. And I thought it just never happened. I'll never be a citizen. Well, I was at West Overfield. It must have been 1943 now, the year. Finally, the officer called me in the office. He said, "You got to report to the courthouse." I forgot the name. With 2 witnesses. you're going to become a citizen. Well, I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe that what we had done before was all forgotten and over with. But that followed me all the way. How it happened, I don't know, but they knew all about me, where I was, and what was happening. So I went to court. Did I tell you that part about being in court?
Yeah, but tell us on film.
Okay. From that day on, I was an American citizen. Yeah.
And you were the first one to be sworn in the courthouse among the group.
Oh, there must have been 100 people in there. It was a big place, but when we walked in uniform, we were escorted like we were all generals, you know. we weren't at the courthouse for over 10 minutes. We were out, and I was an American citizen. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a little bit about your brother, if you don't mind. Did he go into service the same time you did, or did
No. No. I was working in the town of Saratoga then at that time. And he was home with my parents on a farm. So we didn't go into service together. I went in almost within days. They volunteered too, my twin brother and my younger brother. So they ended up in the Solomon Islands, and on July 4th, 1943, he was killed in action. Yeah. So, funny thing in this world, you know, we spelled our name without the E. And we'll go into that. And my younger brother, Edgar, was with him over there for the Solomon Islands. His name is spelled with the Gibeault. They didn't know that they were brothers.
Oh, okay.
So my brother was killed, my twin brother, and my younger brother didn't know about it about a week later, and some of the boys knew them both, they told him then. But he got shot right through the knee, and he swore that he wouldn't lose that leg no matter what. But I went to see him. I was still in the States then. I was in Louisiana. And I took a train. I went to Texas. It was about 300 miles by train one way. And I went to see him, and I told him, I said, Ed, I said, you know, he says, there's a hole there, says you could put a broom handle through it so big. I said, you know, you probably should have that leg amputated. He said, if he'd been able to, he would have socked me one. That made us so mad. He wouldn't lose that leg. He went along months, gangrene set in, they had to amputate the leg. Yeah, that's right. So, he was just a young kid too, he was only 19 years old.
Now, is he still living, or is he deceased now?
Oh no, he died a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, of course they lived in Vermont, and instead of going to like Albany, like I've been going, they'd go to Boston. So he'd take the train, go to Boston for all his troubles there. And they finally gave him an artificial leg. But it was, no, not finally, he got run away. It was held on with a belt like, it was very clumsy. So they measured him for a plastic leg. And he went home, and while he was gone, when they made the leg, it must have been quite a few weeks or months, he had lost a lot of weight. So when he got to Boston, they tried, the leg was too big. So somehow they put a sock in there. It still never worked. He went back to the first leg that he had with a strap and held on. Yeah, couldn't stand it. He got so doggone mad, he took that artificial leg, and they lived in Rutland at the time, and he took it up to the curb for the garbage man to take away. And it was funny, but he was the kind of a guy, he could take a joke, but that leg really got him.
Yeah.
He still lived, he was 62 years old though. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
He was only 18 at that time.
Yeah.
In the Solomon Islands. Yeah.
Now, are there any other stories or anything else you'd like to touch on that we missed? Can you think of any stories?
Well, I could tell you about Calcutta, but that's just another story.
Sure. Sure.
Well, my buddy and I, he was from New Mexico. He was Spanish. His name was Naval. But we both had time off together. So we went to Calcutta. We flew in. And anyway, there was an American hotel that we could use. You know, that was all arranged also. Yeah. Anyhow, we visited the street and we came across a goddamn bunch of snake charmers. That was their business.
Oh yeah, okay.
About 6 of them.
Yeah.
Snakes in all the baskets, and then
Right.
they let them loose and they control them, you know, like snake charmers.
Sure.
Well, one came our way and we got the hell back on that truck. They were cobras too. They're the most deadliest. Well,
Oh.
they're not the deadliest, but next to the deadliest.
Well, you certainly wouldn't want to be bit by one.
Yeah, and there was really, it was an awful poor city.
Yeah.
Awful poor. There's nothing really to see. But we did get around. Oh, I got lost too. They had trolley cars.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why we got separated. I got on that car and it's going and going and going and stopped and let people off. And I says, where's this place going? Where's the car going? I said, I want to go back to Calcutta. Oh, he said, oh, we'll get you there. Yeah, he said, okay. Jeez, I was so damn relieved. I was so relieved that my alive and get back to that hotel. And I don't know why that buddy and I got separated, but we did.
Uh-huh.
That was about the whole thing with Calcutta, nothing else.
Now, once you were discharged, did you stay in touch with anyone you were in the service with?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. One guy. We was even overseas, but we worked together overseas. But we worked together in the States. Yeah, yeah. He ended up being he stayed in the service.
Oh.
He ended up, he was a master sergeant, and he lived in Chicopee Falls. That was his home. But in Springfield, they had something about something like this, I guess. And he stayed with it, and he retired from that.
Oh.
Yeah. He was a staff sergeant, but I knew him. I was also a staff sergeant at that time. Yeah. A lot of things happened.
Now, did you attend any kind of reunions or anything like that?
Well, I belonged to the Legion of the VFW.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you
All
that.
these years, yeah. But right now, our club, the VFW Mechanicville, we lost one veteran after another, and some drop out pretty quick. There was only a couple of us at the meetings. I said, well, we got to close up. There's no gear going on. So we sold the VFW post.
Okay.
And now that we don't have a post, but I still belong to Legion. But you know, I do and I don't. My dues used to be $20 a year. They went up to 30. Now they want $40. And the reason I'm not interested in going there is I don't drink. And the main attraction is the bar.
Yeah, sure.
So we go there, we have a short meeting, they all go to the bar, and I won't drink because I can't drink. I would like to have a beer once in a while, but I can't do it.
Okay.
My system will not take it.
Okay.
So I'm happy that we're what the hell, you know, it's all crazy.
Well, you must be doing something right. You're 99 years old.
Well, yeah, 99 and a half.
Okay. How do you think your time in the service changed or affected your life?
How do you think the service changed?
Changed you?
I don't know. We were fighting the war to end it. And since then, it's been an unending thing, you know. So I feel sorry for the men that are overseas right now. We're friends or we're not friends.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your interview.
Well, I don't know if anybody got anything on.
Oh, it was very interesting. I always like to interview people that were in the CBI theater, Because most of the people we interview were over in Europe,
Oh, yeah.
but it seems like we have a shortage of interviews from
Yeah.
China, Burma, and India.
Okay. Well, I really wanted to go overseas in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how I wanted to go to Europe so bad. Because as old as I am, I still understand French. My people were French, Canadian, you know. But not just that, but Europe was our kind of people there too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And fighting over there, over the far reaches, we just didn't belong there, it seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you again.
Okay.